Well, guys, the world is a changing place every single day. But there's 12 things that are gone forever from the 1960s. This is life in America. I mean, technology changes so fast. Everything changes so fast. There's things that are gone from the freaking 1990s. Beepers. When's the last time you've seen a beeper? I don't know in the last 20 years have I ever seen one. I've never actually used one. I played around with one, but I wasn't old enough to really get a call or get a page. But they don't exist anymore. So I only can imagine what's going to be on this list. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into this one. 12 things gone forever.
In 1963, Pepsi launched its first Diet Cola with a name that evoked kicking back in the shade on a hot summer day. Patio Diet Cola was basically Diet Pepsi, and it would be rebranded as such just a year later. But that first year saw a variety of patio flavors enter the market, including grape, orange, and root beer. You might even remember fitness guru Debbie Drake as the soft drinks spokesperson.
Less than 3 calories on the bottle. Patio.
Fizzies were tablets that were developed in the late 1950s that would add instant carbonation and fruit flavor to a glass of water. The Emerson Drug Company sold the sugar-free flavored tablets to wide public appeal, and by 1968, the product was even outselling Kool-Aid.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the sugar substitute in Fizzies included the sweetener cyclamate, which was eventually banned. That, along with the short-lived fizz and diluted flavoring, led to its eventual demise.
Is there a medicine that has that in there now? It's like a little tablet, like a stomach thing, like antacid or something like that you put in there. You put it in your drink and it fizzes up, then you drink it. It's kind of the same exact thing. They just rebranded it and bought it back.
Mercurochrome, a dark pink over-the-counter antiseptic, was used on just about every cut and scrape during the 1960s. It stung, it smelled funny, and it stained everything. It also happened to be in just about every medicine cabinet in the US, until the FDA figured out that drugs containing mercury could be harmful to us. Kids who grew up in 1960s America will undoubtedly remember Uncle Milton's Ant Farm. The ant farm was heavily promoted in comics and magazines and went on to sell 20 million farms to kids across the country. After purchasing an ant farm, you also had to mail a request for a shipment of 25 ants, which would arrive in a vial a few weeks later. Although the ant farms are still being sold today, it was the ant farm craze in the 1960s that caused them to hit their peak.
Interesting. Uncle Milton's Ant Farm.
Hanging out at the local candy store may have been your first taste of freedom and your first experience with spending money. You could go with the change from your piggy bank and buy all the sweets your mom didn't allow you to eat at home. These stores range from novelty shops and pharmacies to 5 and dime stores. Kids often went in packs after school, and no one worried too much where you'd been as long as you didn't spoil your appetite. Hosted by America's oldest teenager, Dick Clark, American Bandstand was must-see TV for every kid growing up in the 60s. Not only did the show help us discover new artists like Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Sonny and Cher, and Tina Turner, but it also taught us hot dance crazes like the locomotion and the mashed potato.
Mashed potato. So which one of these came first? American Bandstand was there, but did Soul Train come after that, like right after that? And then I guess the new iteration of it all, 106 in Park and TRL and all those other things like that. But I guess it all started with American Bandstand, baby.
Baseball has never been more exciting than it was in 1961, when Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, who both played for the New York Yankees, were in a neck-and-neck race to break Babe Ruth's then-record 60 home runs in a single season. On October 1st, during the last game of the regular season, Maris ended up hitting his 61st home run against the Boston Red Sox. Bicycles with high-rise handlebars and a banana seat, resembling a chopper motorcycle, instantly made it the coolest ride on the block. First produced by Schwinn in 1963, kids loved it because it had a comfortable padded seat that was big enough to carry more than just one rider. As BMX entered its heyday in the 1970s, bikes with banana seats fell out of style. But baby boomers can never be convinced that any other bike makes for a more idyllic childhood.
That's funky.
TVs in the 1960s were gigantic, heavy, and usually mounted in a big wooden box that looked like a piece of furniture. The console television not only antennaed in the latest episode of The Andy Griffith Show, but it also provided enough room on top to show off all of your family photos.
Which is actually space-saving.
During the 1960s, expectant mothers across the United States would commonly be seen smoking. At the time, no one really understood the damage that could occur from smoking cigarettes while pregnant. The doctor-endorsed advertisements, along with a lack of research on the topic, had mothers everywhere thinking it was completely fine. But it would later be found to increase miscarriages and contribute to other problems like low birth weight.
I'm gonna grow 100 years old. What? Was the information, was there really no information about cigarettes that people thought that smoking while having a baby inside you was a good idea? I guess cigarettes just hadn't been around that long, because now if you see people that have been smoking for 5-10 years, I mean, their teeth yellow, they had a mustache, and remember the part right here on their mustache would be changing color, and the part right here in their hair would be changing color from blowing the smoke up. Man, we really didn't know anything back then, did we? That's amazing. That's crazy.
The British rock group
Beatles.
The Beatles were a massive hit with American teenagers in the 1960s. By 1964, when they landed in America, the Beatles were greeted by more than 3,000 crazed fans at the airport before they were whisked away to prepare for their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show. Within 2 weeks of arriving in America, the British invasion, as Walter Cronkite called it, saw 5 Beatles songs entrenched in the Billboard Hot 100, including the top 2 spots.
Wow.
And their televised performances had broken all ratings records, making them international superstars.
That's amazing. Beatlemania. I'm sure that was a time.
It was a moment in history that nobody alive at the time will ever be able to forget. The Apollo 11 mission occurred just 8 years after President Kennedy issued the challenge, and as he took the first human steps on the lunar surface, astronaut Neil Armstrong called it one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. For everyone who saw it live on TV, which included a worldwide audience, it was the most amazing thing they had ever seen.
I can imagine. Imagine your thoughts at the time of that, when that was happening. It's probably out of this world. See what I did there? I'm telling you, I'm sure that was a wild time. Like, just the wildest of times. It's really interesting to see these things, because especially with the fizzies, that is like some kind of antacid. I don't know what that thing is called. Is it pop, fizz? Oh, what a relief it is. Like what is that? But that's the same thing as the fizzy drink. And it's just not with the flavors. And then the thing with the mercury, the medicine, mercurochrome. Goodness gracious. Stained everything because they have mercury in it. We've learned a lot. America has learned a lot. What is good, what is not good, what is horrible for you, especially smoking while pregnant. Don't know why that was ever a thing. Probably could have told you that. Smoking smelled terrible. Probably really burned your throat when you were smoking it. So I don't understand why anybody ever thought that was a good idea to do with the baby inside of you. But I'm glad we've learned. America has come a long way. Life is so different now. 12 things that are gone forever. 1960s America. My folks who are old enough to remember some of these things, let me know your thoughts on this. People that are not old enough to remember these things, let me know what you thought about these things. Which one is the craziest on the list? Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the comments.